Hello students, good morning. Welcome back to our foundation lectures in mathematics. So in our previous discussion we have started with a new chapter discussing on lines and angles, and we have learned some basic terms and definitions. So in today's class let's start with the revision of those whatever we have discussed in the last class. Like actually we have winded up our previous discussion while we are discussing about two parallel lines and a transversal, that is a third line which cuts the given two parallel lines. Then we have seen that 8 angles would be formed. See, suppose L and M are two parallel lines and say T is a third line which intersects L and M. Okay, then we have seen that 8 different types of angles would be formed, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 as a label, and all these angles are having specific names. So what are those also we have discussed, that is the angles between the two parallel lines, we'll call them as interior angles. And then the angles, okay, outside the two interior line, two parallel lines, okay, that is lying above or below, we'll call them as exterior angles. Like you could see that 3 4 5 6, they are examples of interior angles. And then 1 2 7 8, they are not between the parallel lines, so the other angles we'll call it as exterior angles. So 1 2 7 8 are examples of exterior angles. And then corresponding angles, what do you mean by corresponding angles? See, corresponding angle means the angle formed in a similar manner, like say with the transversal. See here, this transversal is intersecting the parallel line L, okay, and it is forming an angle 1 above the parallel line L, right? See, this 1 is the angle formed by the transversal and the parallel line, okay, towards the left side and above the line. In a similar way, here you could see 5 is also an angle formed in a similar manner, but with respect to M, above M and left of the transversal T. So the angles formed in a similar manner, we'll call them as corresponding angles. So examples of corresponding angles are 1 and 5, that is left to transversal and above the parallel line. And then 2 and 6, right of transversal and above the parallel line. And 3 and 7, left of transversal and below the parallel lines. 3 7, okay. And then 4 and 8, that is right to transversal and below the parallel lines, okay. And then alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles means, see, as the word we know already what is meant by interior angles, right? The angles between the parallel lines. Now alternate means opposite sides of the transversal. So choose all the pairs which are to the opposite sides of the transversal. So you could clearly see that 3 and 6, they are on opposite sides of the transversal. Out of these 4 interior angles, 3 and 6 are on opposite sides, 4 and 5 are on opposite sides. So these make a alternate interior angle pair. And then alternate exterior angles, again you know already what are exterior angles, 1 2 7 8. Alternate means opposite sides of transversal. So can you see that which are on the opposite sides of the transversal? 1 and 8, okay, 1 and 8, they are on the opposite, they should not be adjacent as well as they should be on opposite sides. So 1 and 8, okay. Similarly 2 and 7. And then interior on the same side of the transversal. Interior on the same side of the transversal means, see, out of the interior angles, the angles on the same side, that is 3 5 and 4 6, we'll call them as interior angles. And 3 and 4, anyway we have discussed, they are adjacent angles, right? 3 4 are adjacent angles, 2 4 are adjacent angles, 1 2 are adjacent angles, 1 and 3 are adjacent angles, okay. Similarly 5 6 are adjacent angles, 6 8 are adjacent, 8 7 are adjacent, 7 5 are adjacent. So now in today's topic let's see some more important things. When a transversal cuts two parallel lines, say again consider the same example, say this is a parallel line L, this is a parallel line M. Say the transversal line T intersects L and M, okay. So making these 8 different types of angles. Then there are some relations between these angles. You should be memorize. Okay, you should be understanding this. Corresponding angles are equal. Students, already we have discussed what are corresponding angles here. 1 and 5 are corresponding angles. So 1 will be equal to 5. 3 and 7, they form a corresponding angle pair. So they are equal again. 2 and 6, they are again another corresponding angle pair. So they are equal. So all corresponding angle pairs are equal to each other. Okay, this is a very, very important property. Angle 1 is equal to angle 5, angle 3 is equal to angle 7, angle 2 is equal to angle 6, and angle 4 is equal to angle 8. And then alternate interior angles are equal. Students, please, you need to remember this. Okay, alternate interior angles. What are alternate interior angle pairs? 3 and 6 and 4 and 5. And alternate interior angle pairs will be always equal. You need to remember these as well. Angle 3 is equal to angle C and angle 4 is equal to angle 5. Okay, corresponding angles will be always equal. Alternate interior angles will be always equal. And then interior angles on the same side, they will be supplementary. Interior angles on the same side of the transversal. So 3 and 5 and 4 and 6, they are the pairs. So 3 and 5, they will be supplementary, and 4 and 6, they will be supplementary. That is, sum of the two angles will be 180 degrees. Okay. And then these are some terms again you should be well familiar with. When the measure of the angle is less than 90 degrees, then it is said to be an acute angle. That is, suppose, so this is the angle. Okay, this entire thing is 90. If the angle is less than 90, then we will call this as acute angle. And when the measure is exactly 90 degrees, then we will call it as right angle. And when a measure of an angle is greater than 90 degrees, we will call it as an obtuse angle. Okay, acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle. And then see, when the measure of angle is greater than 90 and less than 180, we will call it as obtuse angle. If the angle is greater than 180, we will call it as a reflex angle. Okay, here there are 4 different names. Acute angle, angle should be less than 90 degrees. Right angle, angle measure should be 90 degrees. Obtuse angle, angle measure should be greater than 90 and less than 180. And for 180, we will call it as a straight angle, and greater than 180 means we will call it as a reflex angle. Okay, students. So a line segment has 2 endpoints. Okay, whereas a ray has only one fixed endpoint, whereas a line has no fixed endpoints on both ends, it will be extending indefinitely. And then how does an angle is formed? An angle is formed when two lines meet. An angle is formed when two lines meet. And then already we have discussed this. Adjacent angles, a pair of angles which are placed next to each other in such a way that they have a common vertex and a common arm. One arm should be same and also a common vertex which is common to both the angles are called adjacent angles. Okay. And then linear pair. A linear pair is a pair of adjacent angles whose non-common arms are opposite rays. That is, say if, okay. So now if you look at this, so this is A and this is B. Now if you look at this vertex P, the vertex P is common to vertex P is common to both the angles A and B, and this is the common arm for both the angles A and B, right? So this is satisfying the definition of corresponding angles. So A and B we can call them as corresponding angles. And then here if you look at this ray and this ray, they are opposite in direction. I mean, leave the common arm, and then the other arms, if they are opposite in direction exactly, then we'll call this pair of angles as linear pair. So linear pair means first of all there should be adjacent angles, and then the non-common arms, they should be opposite rays. Okay. So a pair of angles placed adjacent to each other is called a linear pair if the sum of their measures is 180. That is, this angle measure and this angle measure sum. See, you could clearly see that sum means this entire angle. And since these two arms are opposite in direction, this entire measure will be 180 full straight line measure. So hence sum of the measures will be 180 degrees. So whenever you come across this term linear pair, that means sum of the angle should be a full straight angle that is equal to 180 degrees measure. Okay, students. And then when two lines intersect, vertically opposite angles so formed will be equal. That is, clearly you could see that whenever two lines intersect at some common point, four different angles are formed. 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? So here this statement says that here among these four angles, 1 and 2, they are vertically opposite, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, we'll call them as vertically opposite angles, and vertically opposite angles will be always equal. You could look at the proof. See, say here I have labeled the angles as 1, 2, 3, 4, and now in this diagram if you look at this, 1 and 2, they are forming a straight angle, I mean linear pair, and you know that linear pair means sum is 180 degrees, right? And then similarly, what about 3 and 2? 3 and 2 is again forming a linear pair if you consider L as a straight line. But now using 1 and 2, see, you could conclude that 1 and 3 are equal. From 1 and 2, angle 1 is equal to angle 3. Why? Because you have got angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 180 from 1, and you have got angle 2 plus angle 3 is also same as 180. So obviously these two are equal, but so you will be left with angle 1 is equal to angle 3. Similarly, you could prove that 2 and 4 are also equal. Okay. 2 and 4 are also equal. So what do we mean by vertically opposite angles? Means among the four angles, the angles opposite to each other. Don't consider the linear pair, because the linear pairs will be sum is 180. Here we are saying vertically opposite angles are equal. That is, in this figure 1 is equal to 2 and 3 is equal to 4. In this figure 1 is equal to 3 and 2 is equal to 4. Okay. Let me draw another labeling. Say this is 5, say this is 6, this is 7 and this is 8 angles. Here again you could clearly see that angle 5 will be equal to angle 7. The ones opposite. And then angle 6 will be equal to angle 8. The reason is vertically opposite angles. Be clear with this terminology. What is meant by alternate angles, what is meant by exterior angles, what is meant by internal angles, what is meant by corresponding angles, what is meant by alternate interior angles, what is meant by alternate exterior angles. Okay, and what is meant by vertically opposite angle. You should be quite familiar with all these terms. And then intersecting lines. Two lines intersect if they have a point in common. See, if two lines, they doesn't have any point in common, then we'll call them as parallel lines. Okay. But if they have a point in common, we'll call that point as the point of intersection of these two lines. And then transversal. What is a transversal? Transversal means it is a line that intersects two or more lines at different points. Okay. Whenever a line intersects multiple lines, then we will call such a line as transversal. Transversal of parallel lines. So in this chapter mostly we will be dealing with transversal of parallel lines, not the general lines. Parallel lines means you know they will never intersect. And then consider transversal. What is the definition of transversal? Whenever a line intersects multiple lines, okay, then we will call such a line as transversal. So this is a transversal. Okay, the lines on a plane that do not meet anywhere are called parallel lines. As we already have discussed this, that is, there are no points in common between these two lines. We will call this pair of lines as parallel. Okay, students. So now let's look at some important problems based on this. Find the complement of each of the following angles. Okay, is complement means, again, complement is the word. See, don't get confused this complement with the another word complement. Complement. Whenever there is I, we'll call it as best wishes. Complement. But this complement is C-O-M-P-L-E. Complete. Complete means complete. See the root word complete. Complete. Okay. This ends with E, not I. So now in mathematics we'll use the word complement. Okay. Where it is not I, E. See, like the word it says, complete means to finish, right? Here complement means something which adds to make it 90. See, resultant should be 90. Complement means, so whatever the leftover, you need to add it. So for example, here 30 is there, then if you add 60, you will get 90. So then we'll call this 60 as complement of 30. So complement means to add, to finish. How much you need to add to make it 90? This is where we'll use this word complement. So whenever you are given, find the complement of each of the following angles, yet 20 degrees is there. But actually we use the term complement with respect to 90 degrees. So how much angle measure you need to add to make it 90? Okay. So let that be x. X plus 20 will be 90, or x will be directly 90 minus 20. So complement means, or simply you could take the difference of that angle from 90. What is complement of 63? Complement means subtract it from 90. So 90 minus 63, you will get 27. What is complement of 57? 90 minus 57, that is 33. What is complement of 30? It will be 90 minus 30. So it will be 60. What is complement of 60? 90 minus 60, it will be 30. What is complement of 40? 90 minus 40, it will be 50. Okay, student. So if you are asked to find the complement of any angle, it means you need to take the difference from 90. Find the supplement of each of the following angles. Again, this word supplementary will use means, supplement means something which makes, when added, 180 degrees. Okay, means if you add those two, you should get 180 degrees. That is where we'll use the word supplementary. Complementary means 90 degrees. Supplementary means 180 degrees. Sum should be 180. Okay, guys. Again, I am repeating. Complementary, we'll use it for sum being 90. Supplementary, we'll use it for sum being 180. So like in the previous question, whenever you have been asked to find the complement, we have taken the difference from 90, right? So if you are asked to find the supplement, you will take the difference from 180. So look at this. You have been asked to find supplement of 105 degrees. So 105 supplement will be 180 minus 105, that is 75. Similarly, supplement of 87. 180 minus 87, that will be 93 degrees. Supplement of 154. 180 minus 154, that will be 26 degrees. Okay, students. So complementary means difference from 90. Supplementary means difference from 180. So now identify which of the following pair of angles are complementary and which are supplementary. As you know, now you are quite familiar with these words. Complementary, sum should be 90. Supplementary, sum should be 180. Okay, now look at the given pair of angles. Here you are given 65 and 115. 65 plus 115 is 180. When the sum is 180, we'll call them as supplementary. And then 63 and 27. 63 plus 27 is 90. And when the sum is 90, we'll call them as complementary. Next, 112 plus 68. 112 plus 68 is 180. So they are supplementary. 130 plus 50. Sum is 180. So they are supplementary. 45 plus 45. Sum is 90. So they are complementary. 80 plus 10. Sum is 90. So they are complementary angles. Okay. So if sum is 90, we'll call that pair as complementary. If the sum is 180, we'll call that pair as supplementary. Now, find the angle. Let's do some algebra related questions to this related to these angles. Find the angle which is equal to its complement. Find the angle which is equal to its complement. Okay. Students, first of all, we don't know that angle. Here what we'll do is, let that required angle be x degrees. Let the required angle be x degrees. Now, what is given in the question? You need to find the angle. So we have assumed that angle as x. And then he is saying that this angle is equal to its complement. Equal to its complement. First of all, if the angle is x, what will be its complement? Its complement is given by 90 minus x, isn't it? Complement means difference from 90. So we know that complement is 90 minus x. But in the question, what is given? Find the angle which is equal to its complement. That is, this x is equal to 90 minus x. This is what it is given. The angle x is equal to its complement. Okay. So from this equation, okay, adding x on both sides. On the left hand side, you will get x plus x. And on the right hand side, 90 minus x plus x. X will get cancelled and you will be left with 90. So what is x plus x? It is twice x is equal to 90. So now dividing by 2 on both sides, you could write x is equal to 90 by 2. But what is 90 by 2? 45 degrees. So hence, the required angle is 45 degrees. Clearly, you could observe that if one angle is 45 degrees and its complement 90 minus 45 is 45. So this angle is equal to its complement. So hence you have got the right answer. So thus the required angle is 45 degrees. Okay, students. Now let's do similar question. Find the angle which is equal to its supplement. It is in the similar way. So let's assume the required angle to be x. And we know that what is supplement of any angle? 180 minus x. But what is given in the question? This angle is equal to its supplement. So x is equal to 180 minus x. Now adding x on both sides, you will get x plus x is equal to 180, or 2x is equal to 180 degrees, or now you need to find x. So divide by 2, you will get x is equal to 180 degrees by 2. So this will be 90 degrees. So thus the required angle is 90 degrees. Okay. So clearly you could see that if one angle is 90 degrees, what is the supplement of 90? 180 minus 90, which is also 90. So this angle is equal to the supplement. They are equal. So let's move to the next question. In the given figure, angle 1 and 2 are supplementary angles. Okay. Angle 1 and 2 are supplementary angles. So what does it mean to say supplementary? The sum is 180 degrees. And then you have been said that if angle 1 is decreased, what changes should take place in angle 2 so that both the angles still remain supplementary? You have been asked to find, if angle 1 is decreased means this line you are moving. Let me see this line. Say suppose it is something like this, then angle 1 is decreased. Still if it is like this, then the angle 1 is decreased. So in this way, just by moving this ray, okay, in the anti-clockwise direction, you could decrease the measure of angle 1. Now here in the question you have been asked, if 1 and 2 are supplementary angles, and if angle 1 is decreased, what changes should take place in angle 2 so that both the angles still remain supplementary? Both the angles still remain supplementary. Obviously, see, you could see that if 1 is decreased, then 2 will also be increased by the same amount, right? If 1 is decreased, then 2 will be increased by the same amount. So, if 1 is decreased by some degrees, then 2 will also be increased by the same degree, so that the two angles will always remain supplementary. Okay. So, whenever 1 decreases by some amount, 2 obviously should increase by the same amount. So, 1 and 2 will always remain supplementary. So, in this case, they will be always supplementary. Can two angles be supplementary if both of them are acute, obtuse, right angle? See, these are very, very interesting reasoning type of questions. So, first of all, you need to know these terminologies. First of all, supplementary means what? Sum of two angles should be 180. Then we will call as supplementary, right? Okay. So, once you know this word supplementary, and then acute means what? Acute means each angle should be less than 90. Now, students, can you tell me this? If angle A is less than 90 and angle B is less than 90, can sum angle A plus angle B equal to 180? Is it possible? See, if this is less than 190, this is less than 90 and this is less than 90, then obviously their sum would be less than 180, right? So, it can never be possible. It is never possible, right, to be equal to 180. So, hence, see, acute angle plus acute angle is always less than 90 plus 90, which is always less than 180. So, thus, the two acute angles cannot be supplementary angles. Okay. So, similarly, let us look at the next question. If both of them are obtuse, see, if both of them are obtuse, that is, if angle A is greater than 90 and angle B is greater than 90, what will be their sum? Angle A plus angle B. They will be obviously greater than 180, right? So, if sum is greater than 180, how can they be 180? So, thus the two obtuse angles cannot be supplementary angles. Okay. And then, if both of them are right, what do you mean by right? Angle A is 90 and angle B is 90, then what will be their sum? So, angle A plus angle B is 180 degrees. Yes, this is true. So, hence, if both of them are right, right angle plus right angle is 180 degrees, thus two right angles are supplementary angles. Okay. Hope this is clear. So, let us move to the next question. An angle is greater than 45. An angle is greater than 45. Is its complementary angle greater than 45 or equal to 45 or less than 45? See, student, here you are given that an angle is greater than 45. Let the given angle be x degrees. Okay. So, therefore, x is greater than 45. This is given in the question. Now, they are asking about its complementary angle. Complementary means complementary of x will be 90 minus x. Right? Now, clearly you could observe that if x is greater than 45, x is greater than 45. So, just bring this minus, can you say minus 45 is less than minus x? See, always remember, whenever you will multiply minus sign, the inequality changes. If A is greater than B, then minus B will be less than minus A. Inequality, remember this. Whenever you multiply on both sides by the same negative quantity, then the inequality will change. So, if x is greater than 45, then minus 45 is less than minus x. Now, add 90. Now, add 90, then you could clearly see that 90 minus 45 you will get minus x less than, sorry, minus x will be less than minus 45. Now add 90 on both sides, you will get 90 minus x is less than 90 minus 45, which is 45. So that is 90 minus x will be less than 45. The answer is, whenever x is greater than 45, its complement will be less than 45. Please remember this inequality. If a is greater than b, then minus b will be, or else minus a. Whenever you multiply both sides by minus n, then the inequality will change. So for example, 2 is greater than 1, right? Now multiply minus signs on both sides. So you will get minus 2 and minus 1. Clearly you could observe that minus 2 is less than minus 1. So by multiplying by minus side, you need to change the inequality. So now, so the answer is clear that an angle is greater than 45 means its complement will be less than 45. If an angle is less than 45, then its complement will be greater than 45. And we have also done one question. If the angle is 45, then its complement will be 45 only. Now, in the following figure, can you tell, is 1 adjacent to angle 2? Is angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent? First of all, what is the definition of adjacent? See, they should have a common vertex and one common arm, right? So if you look at angle 1 and angle 2, this is the common vertex O, and then this OC is the common arm, right? So yes, angle 1 and 2 are adjacent angles. And then, is angle AOC adjacent to angle AOE? Angle AOC means this one, and angle AOE, this one. Are they adjacent? First of all, no. Why? Because they don't have any common arm, right? Do they? Angle AOC is not adjacent to angle AOE because OC and OE, they do not lie on either side of the common arm OA. OC and OE, they do not lie on either side of the common arm OA. Okay. See, for angles being adjacent, what are the conditions? First thing is, the angle should share common vertex. Okay. And second thing is, they should have common arm. And the third thing is, the other two arms should be on either side of the common arm, like this. So here in this case, AO is the common arm for angle AOC and angle AOE. But you could see that OC and OE, they are on the same side of the common arm. But for angles to be adjacent, the non-common arm should be on opposite side, not on the same side to the common arm. Okay. So these are not adjacent, whereas angle 1 is adjacent to angle 2. Next, does angle COE and EOD, they form a linear pair? EOD. See, you have been asked COE and EOD. Do they form a linear pair? See, COE angle 2 and look at this, COE, this angle, and angle EOD, do they form a linear pair? This is the question. First of all, linear pair means what? Linear pair of angles means they should be adjacent angles. First of all, are they adjacent? COE and EOD, are they adjacent angles? Yes. O is the common vertex and OE is the common arm, and the arms OC and OD, they are on opposite side of the common arm. So these are adjacent. Now the question is, do they form a linear pair? Means, first of all, those pair need to be adjacent angles and their sum should be 180 degrees. 180 degrees. Do you think this is a straight angle? Is it a straight angle? If it is a straight angle, then the answer is yes. If it is not a straight line, then the answer is no, they doesn't form a linear pair. Because for a linear pair, the angle should be corresponding angles and then, adjacent angles, and the sum should be 180. Okay. And the next question. So this answer is no. Sorry, this is a mistake. No, because this is not a straight line. Okay, it should be straight line. Sum should be 180. And then are angle BOD and DOA. BOD and DOA, are they supplementary? Okay, actually I think this diagram itself is wrong. What you will do is consider this diagram. Consider this diagram, then your answers will be right. This is A, this is C, this is E, B, D, O, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now students, instead of this diagram, please look at this. Okay, please look at this answer. Now if you look at this, our angle COE and angle EOD form a linear pair, as we have already seen. COE and EOD, they are adjacent angles because OE being the common arm and the other two non-common arms are on opposite sides of this common arm, so they are adjacent. And then are they some forming a straight angle? Yes, they are forming a straight angle. So because this entire thing is straight angle, so hence they are forming a linear pair. Next, just ignore this because here it is not being, this is a straight line actually. And then our angle BOD and DOA, supplementary. Again, what is meant by supplementary? Again, sum should be 180. So clearly if you see that angle BOD and DOA, they are forming a straight angle, right? Angle BOD plus angle DOA is nothing but this plus this. This is nothing but a straight angle. And then angle is angle 1 vertically opposite angle to 4. Again, what did we discuss about vertically opposite angles? Whenever two lines intersect, the angle is opposite. So they are called as vertically opposite, right? So clearly here AOB is line and COD is a line intersecting at O. So angle 1 is equal to angle 4. They are vertically opposite angles. Okay. And similarly, they have been asked what is vertically opposite angle of 5. See here, this is 5 they have labeled, and here they have drawn a line saying that this is 2 and 3. Now can you tell what is vertically opposite angle of 5? Angle 1 is equal to angle 4, right? Vertically opposite angles. Here if you look at this diagram, angle 5 is on this side. What is the vertically opposite angle to 5? So you could clearly see that that is sum of 2 and 3. Vertically opposite angle of 5 is 2 plus 3, that is angle BOC, this entire angle. Okay. So just be clear with the definition, then these questions will be very, very easy to solve. Now indicate which pair of angles are vertically opposite angles. Again, same question. Vertically opposite angles means whenever you see two lines intersecting, then the four angles will be formed, right? So the angles which are not adjacent, which are opposite to each other, we'll call them as vertically opposite angles. So if you look at this here, this is a line and this is another line. So here what are vertically opposite angles? Clearly you could see that 1 and 4. 1 and 4 are opposite, vertically opposite angles. And then on the other side 5 is 1 and 2 and 3. So 5 and sum of 2 plus 3, they are vertically opposite angles. And then linear pair. Linear pair means adjacent and supplement, I mean 180 degrees. So they should form a straight angle. So it is easy to spot out the linear pairs. Just pick a straight line and add the angles which are forming a straight angle. So here 4 and 5. Okay. And then pick the next straight line. This one. Here 1 and 5. They consider a straight angle pair. So 1 and 5, 4 and 5, they make you linear pairs. Okay, students. Next. In the following figure, is angle 1 adjacent to angle 2? See, first of all, what is the definition of adjacency? They should have common vertex, both the angles. Now look at this. Angle 1 is this measure, right? Say, let us label this some A and say B. Here the vertex for angle A is, angle 1 is A, whereas vertex for angle 2 is B. A and B, they are different vertexes. So they don't have common vertex, isn't it? So hence they are not adjacent. Right? So these two angles are not adjacent. So let's look at the next question. Find the values of the angles x, y and z in each of the following. Okay. See, use the relations. You know now some things like, some vertically opposite angles will be equal. And then you know that linear pairs, there's some straight angle will be 180. Okay. So you will be using those results and you will be finding these variables. So here, for example, in the first figure, you could clearly see that 55 degrees and x, they are vertically opposite angles. And vertically opposite angles, we know that they are equal. So angle x will be equal to 55. And then if you look at this, so angle x is 55. Now if you look at this as a straight line, so x and y, they form a linear pair. Straight angle, adjacent angles, and they are linear pair, right? So 55 plus y should be 180. So from this you will get y as 125 degrees. Okay. Similarly, if you look at this line, x and z, they are also forming a linear pair, right? So x plus z is 180. So you will get z as 125. Or similar way, you could also say that y and z, they are vertically opposite angles. So once you know the value of y, you could say that z is equal to 125, since y and z are vertically opposite angles. Okay. Now look at the second one. In the second one, students, see, these two are the lines, right? So if you clearly see that the vertically, this 40 degrees and z, they are vertically opposite angles. So hence z will be equal to 40 degrees. Okay. Z is 40 degrees. And then if you look at this entire thing, this is a straight angle, because being a straight line, so sum of all these angles will be 180, straight angle. So 25 degrees plus x plus 40, this will be 180. So from this equation you could solve 65 plus x as 180 and x will be 180 minus 65, which is 115 degrees. Okay. So from this x you will get as 115 degrees. And then 40 plus y. See, again, if you will consider this as a straight line, 40 and y, they form a linear pair. So 40 plus y will be 180. So from this you will get y is equal to 180 minus 40, which is 140. And again already I have discussed this z. Z and 40, they are vertically opposite angles, so you could get z as 45. Sorry, z will be 40 because vertically angles, opposite angles are equal. So directly, so if you will get comfortable with these terminologies and the definitions, then you could solve these questions orally as well. So especially these tricks will be helpful in your competitive exams. Okay students, so with this let's wind up our today's discussion and we'll continue in the next class. Thank you. Till then, have a nice time.